tonight I am at the Park and Chill 5th Avenue out here by In-N-Out in North Vegas. And I ran into Muzzy here, and he's telling me about his car, and I thought he needs to give us a full rundown on this. So first and foremost, say hi, Muzzy.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Okay, so tell me what this car is.
It's a 2003 Acura CL Type S, original 6-speed manual.
6-speed manual, very important.
From the factory, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
important.
a very limited quantity of
Okay.
vehicles that came to the U.S.
You said this is one of how many?
483 with the
Okay.
black on black interior, exterior, with no navigation.
Okay.
I believe the factory navigation ones were smaller built.
Okay. But
Either which way.
it seems like the magic is happening under the hood here.
Yeah, I put a little tweaks and stuff under there.
Okay,
A Comtech supercharger.
Tell me about that.
It's an MT62, I believe, supercharger, Eaton supercharger, twin roots. I got the Comtech Icebox, Comtech headers to exhaust tips, including the test pipe, so it's just full bolt-ons. I got the fuel pressure regulator from Comtech as well, running a Mishimoto oil catch can. Original radiator from 03, no additional cooling and I've got this entire intake manifold that a company out in Akron, Ohio, custom fabbed for me together.
Wow, nice.
Basically, it was a core at first that I had sent them.
Okay.
And they CNC'd it down, port and polished it, airflow bench tested it to be the most efficient possible. In order to keep up with all the added air coming in, they wanted to go down the combustion chamber as smoothly as possible. Now with all the added air, I upgraded the injectors to RDX injectors, the Acura RDX. It's a little modification you can do to get those things functional and running. Basically all you got to do is splice a few wires together, get a little snap connector in there, up the fuel pressure, and the added air and whatnot, all takes care of it all.
Okay, now the big question that everybody wants to know.
What's that?
What kind of horsepower is this cranking out now?
Honestly, I haven't dynoed it, but
What do you think?
I'd say conservatively 350 to the wheels.
Wow.
The next few things that I've got in store for this is a full standalone ECU to really dial it in.
Yeah.
And a aftermarket clutch, full Kevlar face, friction disc, beefed up pressure plate, and then a lightweight flywheel. And at that point, I plan to dyno it and see what its true numbers are, dyno it in.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you've done any tuning on this.
No. So
it's just bolting on parts, right?
Bolting on parts, and then there's one.
So there's one tuning thing you were telling me about?
Basically, it's to prevent any sort of check engine lights. There's an ESM,
Right.
electronic signal
Right.
modifier, and that's wired up to the map sensor to not see the added boost.
Right.
And it's voltage based, so basically the map sensor will see all the added pressure through, the manifold, and usually would trigger the check engine light.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
The signal modifier kind of rethinks its brain to give different info to the ECU to think everything's just normal and factory.
Precisely. You start doing this much bolt-on stuff, at some point or the other, the computer's going to rebel.
Yeah, and it does.
Yeah.
I try and mechanically dial it in with the fuel pressure regulator, but she has their moments where she'll run really, really rich. I have it pretty much dialed into about 10% rich on average over the long-term fuel trims.
And you're doing all this stuff yourself, right?
Yeah, this all happens in the garage.
Wow.
Little 2-car garage.
Dude, let's walk around and see what the whole thing looks like.
Oh, she's relatively ugly.
Nah, it's just stealthy,
Yeah, stealthy, a little bit of a sleeper aspect to it. I didn't want to build the aesthetics on it, just to keep it under the radar.
Yeah. Well, I like the stealthy part, and I'm kind of a fan of the whole sleeper vibe. So I'm with you on that. Tell me about what's on your back window here.
That was one of my best buds. Unfortunately, lost him a few years back.
Okay.
He will always ride with me.
That's right. Well, it's a really nice build. It's super clean, and I like what you've done on it, because I kind of like the whole sleeper vibe. But I bet this thing gets up and goes.
She does her due diligence relatively well.
Yes, indeed.
And for an 03, I've also kept up the interior relatively well.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's all just factory interior, but the only addition I've done to it is a RSX steering wheel. It's a little bit shorter in diameter wider around the grips, so it feels much smoother in hand. Wired up the cruise control to work, so.
And it's nice because it's a comfortable car.
Relatively, yeah, really comfortable.
I'm just really stoked it's a manual transmission.
Oh yeah, these cars are getting rarer and rarer to find.
Yeah, well, 2 of my cars are manual, and it's just really important. As fantastic as modern transmissions are, there's nothing that beats a manual, if you ask me.
In my opinion, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree as well. There's nothing more direct than a manual transmission.
Yeah, well, you agree because I'm right, so. Hey, appreciate it, Muzzy. Thanks for talking to me about your car, man.
I appreciate you.
I'm glad we met up tonight, man.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen when you roll out, so.
Oh, yeah.
All
A lot
right.
of these cars have got, surprises under their hoods. So.
Exactly. Cool, thanks, man.
Right on.